And I even then kept thinking, oh, other people's houses burn, ours doesn't burn.
He reviewed what was going on and met with us in a private room and said that he was giving Cody a 5% chance that she would survive.
At that point, breakers started kicking off all over and sparks started flying. And they didn't know at that point that actually there was a fire in the basement.
There was almost like disbelief. You didn't recognize anything. You didn't recognize your surroundings. You didn't recognize any of the neighborhood, really, with all the devastation that had happened.
This ring that I have on my finger is about the only thing that was saved from my room.
And just to stand, across the street and just watch the fire consume your house and most of your belongings, it's a very, very unusual experience.
Oh, yes. When inside the house, you felt like the house was going to blow away.
Half of the kitchen and all of the dining room fell through to the basement floor, all burned enough to fall through.
I thought I was having a dream, literally, and that I was going to wake up any minute now.
Like, you always think that, it's never going to happen to you, but it can happen to anybody.
We got the phone call from the emergency at the hospital in the early mornings of the hour, and it was the on-call minister telling her that our daughter had an accident and that we needed to get right up to the hospital.
We went through like a T intersection and ran straight into a tree.
And I had to get out of the room, and the staff there thought I was having a heart attack over it. But I just had to get my act together to try to give Cody the strength that she needed. She had a tear in her aorta, and they did not know it. She was dying on the table.
A case like this was tough because I have a daughter the exact same age as Cody, and very early on, that just triggers some emotion, I suppose, and some concern, and it was certainly genuine.
The driver's insurance didn't cover. It had to be divided amongst the 3 kids that were in the car that got hurt. And that Cody's share didn't even cover the first 2 hours that she was in emergency room, let alone the air evac that they did from the accident site to the hospital and all that. If it hadn't been for our insurance, we'd probably be sitting in bankruptcy court.
Life and business is all about relationships, and I learned that an awful long time ago. And I would say that from the very beginning, the family that we spoke with and then the representatives for the family, it didn't take real long when we understood the very serious nature of the battles that she was fighting. It didn't take us all long to get on the same page and really just want to do the right thing.
Well, insurance is a hard thing because it's the intangible that's just there, that's in the background all the time. I'm very grateful that we had the insurance that we did. I was very grateful for Pekin, the way they worded their coverage and like that, because we found out since that there are companies out there that if we would have had even the umbrella policy, that Cody still wouldn't have been covered under those conditions and all. So I'm very grateful that we were with Pekin and that they've dealt with their policies the way they do.
I don't swing a hammer. I don't fix anything. What my job is I try to keep the process moving. I try to get the right people involved to help put their lives back together.
We know what the agents have gone through, and we try to help them out as much as possible also.
It's a relationship. It's a communication business. And if you can establish a line of communication with somebody and a certain level of trust both ways, it just feeds itself as the claim goes on.
And I think that's really where Pekin Insurance sells you is how quickly did we respond to that claim? How quickly did we get out there, and how quickly did we resolve the claim?
If I had to sum up in one word what Pekin Insurance is for their clients, that one word is committed.
I'm able to represent about 10 different companies, and a lot of them are nationally known companies that all of us would recognize. And I have to say, after this catastrophic event, Pekin really rose to the top. They are not as well known as some of these companies, but wow, did they shine during this.
They've set the bar high for my other companies. If I ever have a loss like this, I know what I should expect. They paid some things that I didn't realize they could pay them that way, but they found creative ways to cover this loss.
I, too, buy insurance. I, too, have a home. I, too, buy Pekin Insurance Company. I, too, have raised 2 kids through college. And the 16-year-olds at my house wrecked 2 times in the first 6 months. And what I've experienced is that Pekin Insurance will not turn on their client when life's mishaps happen.
That's the great thing, that you never think you're going to need your insurance company until you do. And Pekin Insurance was there right away.
Just anyone that we have dealt with in this whole process has always made the comments, oh, are you fighting an insurance company? I bet you're fighting an insurance company. And the truth is, we never fought the insurance company. Not one time.
I've turned a few people onto Pekin, I do believe, just because of the way that they handled the claim, the way that they were able to get there so quickly.
Yes, I'm happy I had Pekin Insurance. It was good to us.
I don't know how really to explain it, except they truly treated me like I was family. They were looking out for my best interest.
Beyond the Expected, Pekin Insurance. To learn more, go to beyondtheexpected.com.